Roman Abramovich, the billionaire who once treated Chelsea Football Club like his personal toy, showering it with billions until it became a trophy printing machine, now finds himself on a very different stage. And no, it's not another Champions League final, it's a criminal investigation in Jersey. Imagine that. The man who lifted European cups with Drogba and Lampard is now facing the possibility of lifting handcuffs. Let's flip the question upside down. Were some of Chelsea's greatest goals, those glorious moments at Stamford Bridge, indirectly funded by murky Krysia payments from 1,990 seconds Russia? Sounds crazy, right? But here we are in 2025, and the past has crawled out of its grave like a zombie demanding repayment. Abramovich thought silver cups would secure a golden reputation. Instead, he's now buying a different kind of silver, high-priced defense lawyers. On the 7th of September 2025, The Guardian reported that Abramovich is officially under criminal investigation in Jersey. Prosecutors suspect that his billions from Sibneft, the oil giant he built during Russia's wild privatization era, may have been greased by Krysia payments, protection money that blurred the line between business and organized crime. What makes this case explosive is that Switzerland, once the fortress of banking secrecy, has agreed to hand over Abramovich's account records to Jersey prosecutors. Offshore companies linked to him tried to block it, but Swiss courts said, nope, hand it over. This is like opening a vault Abramovich thought was sealed forever. At the same time, another headache sits in London. The £2.5 billion from his forced Chelsea sale in 2022 is still frozen. The UK government insists the money must go to Ukraine's war victims. Abramovich wants more flexibility. So here he is, caught in a giant legal sandwich. Jersey is digging into his past. London is fighting over his present. And Abramovich? He's the filling, squashed between prosecutors and politicians. The issue now isn't just guilt or innocence. It's whether he loses his money, his reputation, or both. So why is this drama erupting now? 1. The domino of sanctions. Once Abramovich was sanctioned after Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, everything tied to his name became fair game. Chelsea was sold under duress, and the proceeds turned into a frozen, radioactive pile of cash. Governments and investigators suddenly had both motive and leverage to revisit his past. 2. Offshore secrecy is crumbling. For decades, oligarchs believed in the myth of unbreakable Swiss vaults and Cayman structures. But 2025 has proven otherwise. Swiss courts actually handed over Abramovich's account records. To him, it must feel like the walls of Fort Knox suddenly sprouted windows. 3. Legal spin versus public perception. Abramovich's lawyers stress, this is just an investigation, no charges have been filed. Technically true, but once a headline screams criminal probe, public opinion has already delivered its guilty verdict. In the age of clickbait, reputation shatters faster than glass. 4. The irony of Chelsea. Abramovich bought Chelsea in 2003 to launder his image. He turned himself into the friendly oligarch, a patron of football glory, but 2 decades later, Chelsea has become Exhibit A. The club's sale proceeds are frozen, dragging Abramovich back into scandal. The same team he used to polish his reputation is now polishing evidence against him. 5. A satirical twist. Maybe he regrets not buying Arsenal instead? At least then, when investigators came calling, fans would have begged, come on, spare the poor guy, he never even got a trophy. 6. The objective and subjective angles. Objectively, Russia's 1,990 seconds privatization was a jungle. Anyone who wanted to survive had to pay protection, cut corners, or risk being eaten alive. Subjectively, Abramovich wasn't just surviving, he was sprinting. He chose to rise fast, accumulate big, and deal with consequences later. Well, later has arrived, in the form of Swiss bankers faxing his statements to Jersey prosecutors. 7. The core problem. Abramovich is in a lose-lose situation. If Jersey proves its case, he may face asset seizures or charges. If the UK prevails, his Chelsea billions go to Ukraine. Either way, he loses money, loses reputation, or loses both. What comes next? Let's sketch 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, the compromise, most likely. Abramovich eventually agrees to let most of the Chelsea proceeds flow to Ukraine. Jersey keeps investigating but avoids filing charges for now. Politicians declare victory, victims receive funds, Abramovich loses billions but keeps his freedom. Scenario 2, the escalation. Jersey uncovers hard evidence of laundering tied to 1,990 seconds Croatia payments. Abramovich faces criminal charges or asset seizures. This would be a legal earthquake, setting precedent that oligarch fortunes can be unraveled decades later. It would embolden other governments to hunt similar fortunes. Scenario 3, the marathon. Lawyers drag the process into oblivion. Offshore webs are complex, appeals stack up, the Chelsea money remains frozen indefinitely. Abramovich isn't jailed but lives in limbo. Rich on paper, restricted in reality. Public attention drifts away, but the cloud over him never clears. Which is most plausible over the next 12-24 months? Scenario 1. Governments prefer messy settlements over endless trials. They want a headline, "Billions to Ukraine." Abramovich will quietly take the hit because the alternative of full trial risks total collapse. But even in the best case scenario, his reputation is toast. So what can ordinary people learn from Abramovich's billionaire soap opera? First, the past never really dies. Deals you thought were buried decades ago can resurface when politics shifts. For oligarchs, that means shady privatization tricks. For regular folks, it might mean an old tweet, a bad business deal, or a hidden tax slip. Second, no vault is eternal. Offshore accounts, Swiss banks, Caribbean shells, they all look unbreakable until they're not. If Switzerland itself is handing over banking records, then no one's secrets are safe forever. Third, reputation evaporates faster than wealth. Abramovich hasn't been convicted, but the mere phrase criminal investigation has already nuked his image. In the digital age, the court of public opinion is faster, harsher, and often more permanent than any courtroom. The everyday takeaway? Transparency pays. You don't need billions to apply this. Keep your life and finances clean. Build trust deliberately. Don't assume your skeletons will stay hidden in the closet, because when history changes direction, closets swing open. And yes, it's okay to be a little crazy, but make it a crazy with purpose. Not the kind of crazy where you gamble your reputation on offshore secrets. Abramovich's story is entertaining for us, but it's also a cautionary tale. You can buy yachts and football clubs, but you can't buy immunity from history. Roman Abramovich once lifted the Champions League trophy. Now his biggest match is being played in Jersey's legal arena, no roaring fans, just prosecutors armed with spreadsheets. Whatever the outcome, his glittering aura has already cracked. And here's the punchline. Abramovich bought Chelsea to upgrade his reputation. But in the end, the reputation bought him, and it came with a subpoena attached. So if billionaire scandals thrill you more than Netflix dramas, hit like, share this story, and subscribe. Because trust me, there are plenty more billionaires doing bizarre, crazy, but with a logic things, and I'll be right here to unpack them, one absurd headline at a time.